Boom. Video's recording. Stand by on audio. All right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Live the Fuel show. So today, I'm actually pretty stoked here, guys. Usually you guys hear me getting excited about a lot of my co-hosts I bring on. This is actually something really, really cool because you've heard a lot about Vinnie Tortorich. He's been on the show many, many times now from the Fitness Confidential podcast. I learned about this gentleman and some really, really amazing, super, super healthy, ridiculously amazing nuts. I don't know if that could become a future commercial or not. Anyway, this stuff is ridiculous. It comes from the Philippines. I'm going to let him tell you guys more about it. It is probably, if it's not already ranked this way, it's got to be the healthiest nut on the planet. I've got tons of samples here. I've been eating them. I've already put a big order in. That just arrived. I mean, this stuff is paleo-friendly, keto-friendly, keto-certified, actually, too. Their company or organization is actually basically called the Hunter Gatherer. I want to talk more about that, too. And their website is eatpilinuts.com. So without further ado, Jason Thomas, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
Dude, we've already been talking like for a couple of minutes and we're wasting all that valuable content and knowledge. I'm like, we got to get this thing fired up. So for our listeners real quick, you and I literally just rewind here, connected on a couple different subjects. You and I have a commonality on CrossFit. You and I have a commonality of the mountain life. You're from Oregon.
I'm from Alaska, but I'm living out here in Oregon now.
Sorry, Alaska to Oregon to experience in the Philippines, which we're going to talk more about too, I'm guessing. So, hey, man, like this is pretty cool. I love connecting and just common ground here. And as I already hinted, I don't edit anything. So whatever passion comes out today, let's just roll with it. And as we hinted for our listeners, and actually YouTube listeners right behind me, there's your Eat Pili Nuts. Okay, so for our video guys, this is their actually, until your samples you sent me, I didn't even get to try the spicy chili. So I was really happy to order these spicy chilies.
Right on.
And then I literally ordered a bulk bag of, hold on a second. I got to show this stuff. This is already great podcasting already. I'm already walking away from the microphone. Look at the size of this. These guys sell like bulk bags of the Pili Nuts. So I went bulk, obviously, on the salted Himalayan with the coconut oil because it's like, dude, those are legit. That's the one
everybody loves. Yeah, that's the one everybody loves.
But you were just telling me about a new flavor.
Yeah, so we've got Tamarick and black pepper. And that's actually on the website now, but we've got that coming out in small bags as well. We got it in bulk, but Tamarick and black pepper, and then we've also got raw cacao with a touch of coconut sugar. It's not 100% keto because there's a little bit of coconut sugar.
See, I looked at that. I did see that when I did this order. And again, so real quick, before we get distracted by the sugar piece, actually, I think this is a great point to pause and explain that whole Paleolithic thing, right? So even you guys are breaking some of the confines of the paleo world because you still have to adapt to your consumer market a little bit. Can you explain a little bit about why you guys decided to go with a formulation like that for a super healthy nut?
Yeah, everybody was asking for it, so we said, let's try it. And we tried it with just the raw cacao dusted on there.
It's a little bitter.
Yeah, it just wasn't that good. And we added just a touch of coconut palm sugar. We didn't put a bunch in there, but it's enough just to sweeten it up a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm sort of into the keto low carb thing, and but so many people wanted it that we thought we'd just offer it and see if people want. We're just trying to make people happy more than anything.
Well, and again, it's about what the customer is always wanting and what the customer is always right, so to speak. At the same point, you guys technically, I don't know if you ever thought about it this way from a business perspective, but it's like you guys also have a responsibility to guide your consumer base the right direction too, right? So
true, absolutely, yeah. We'd like to, honestly, the keto paleo crowd kind of pays our bills, and we want to make them happy. But we also have all kinds of people asking for the chocolate, and we may actually team up with a Peruvian company and do just a chocolate coated Pili nut.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll see.
And again,
just a dark chocolate over.
One thing that I've found is like I'm not a huge sweets guy. Like I never was.
I'm not either.
So going paleo and then moving into the ketogenic studies and the ketogenic lifestyle wasn't that hard for me. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of our listeners, they might be still brain hooked on the high of the sugar, one of the most addicting things on the planet.
Yeah.
Again, this is actually a good spot here too. How would you explain to a listener right now about the keto lifestyle? Like, again, I've already had doctors on the show, so don't worry about getting all scientific, but you just being a consumer, man, and somebody living that lifestyle, like why tie this to a keto certified product, all that? Like, why is that such a focus?
Honestly, for me, it's more about not bullshitting the consumers. We've got a whole society of people that are pushing this crap food on everybody. And it's not so
Are you
much
referring
about
to our manufactured crap that's on the shelves in the grocery store?
Exactly. It's not so much about the being 100% ketogenic or staying in ketosis all the time. I think it's more about the just giving an honest product to people and not trying to trick them with cheap corn, soy, sugar, crap. It's a good quality food.
Yeah, no soy, thank you.
Yeah, tell me about it. But so
that does not belong in the body.
But we're also, the paleo keto aspect of it is great, but it starts basically with just a real food, something that's real, no bullshit, no trying to trick anybody. And that's kind of how it all starts. I just lost you, man.
Oh yeah, so I'm bringing up your site here for our YouTube peeps.
Right on.
So hey guys, like again, eatpilinuts.com, and again, I'm literally a new consumer, guys. Like usually I wait a little while, but to promote a product, and he's not paying me to do this, by the way. But it's like, dude, it's a freaking nut. Okay, I don't need to worry about analysis and product. Has it been tested by a college or a science team? It's a freaking nut. Okay, you really can't mess that up.
Exactly. We did send some down to some scientists in Florida. They're actually testing them on rats right now.
Oh, really? Why? Yeah. Now, why is that? Are you guys looking to see it? Obviously, because this has got a super, super high healthy dose of fats, which is again, we're trying to re-educate the consumer base about really 20 years of just incorrect education on healthy fat sources. So is that something they're testing for, or what?
Exactly. So I was down at the keto conference in Florida. What's the name of it? Epigenics. And
Epigenics.
Yeah. And I met some folks down there, and I said, I'd love to get you guys some Pili Nuts to try out. And they're like, yeah. And we'd love to give them to, they're doing a bunch of studies with cancer and all kinds of stuff with the ketogenic diet. And I said, yeah, I'll get you guys some, and we can feed them to the rats and see how they do on the diet.
Well, man, I can tell you, God, I don't know if you've heard of well, obviously we were just talking before we started recording the show here. This morning's episode was Dr. Wolfson, the Paleo Cardiologist. So I can't wait to get you guys hooked up, because he was talking about, towards the end of the episode 70, he was talking about the epigenetics, right? That's something that they talk about in their practice out of Arizona with him and his wife, who's obviously he's a DO cardiologist. She's a DC, doctor of chiropractic. So you're mixing the medical, the hardcore medical school world with the more natural wellness world. And it's pretty powerful what they're doing with their brand. It's what's called, their brand is the Drs Wolfson, because they're married. But the point here is that I've had other doctors on too, man. Like for example, a biochemist PhD researcher, Dr. Sylvia Tara, she released a new book this year called The Secret Life of Fat, and educating people that it is a required component of the body. Like our fat cells are literally an organ. So are you filling your fat cells with toxicity and manufactured chemicals and crap, or are they basically in a state of normal utilization where they're detoxified and your body is just cycling and it's fat adapted, and your fat is fuel, dude. Fat is real fuel. People are like, oh man, I get done with a workout, I need a sugar spike. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, stop eating the Rice Krispie treat. I coach CrossFit, dude. You and I were talking about this. It pisses me off at a competition that I'm judging, and I turn around and I see one of my athletes pulling out a freaking Rice Krispie treat because they got to reestablish their sugars. I'm like, first of all, it's a Rice Krispie treat, dude. Like, it's manufactured marshmallow, and I don't even want to get into it.
Well, man, we're so trained. We're so brainwashed in the whole thing. But
again, fat is fuel.
Yeah. Yeah. And we could talk about it after, but I spent a lot of time in the north of Alaska, and that whole I was born in Barrow, Alaska, which is up in Eskimo village.
Yeah.
They have like the most amazing diet in the world. They're eating whale and seal and meat and.
Yeah. And what is the indigenous culture? What do we call that? That's
Inupiat.
Yeah. So
Inupiat Eskimo. Very,
very rich on literally mammals from the sea, they're fat, right? But it's pure old school, just like the Native American tribes down here in this country, where the indigenous tribes, where they're fueling themselves off of organ meat and healthy fats from actual fat tissue. And again, be clear, the fat tissue you're consuming from the animal, what is in that fat tissue, right? If it's coming from one of our farms of manufactured GMO, chemical riddled, grain, that's not going to be a healthy source of fat. I think that's an important clarifier.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's up there. They have the perfect diet. The problem is up there is that they're eating, whale blubber, and then they're eating a cheeseburger and chips afterwards. So
because our culture, or Really, yeah, our continental U.S. culture, so to speak, from coast to coast here, Cali to Jersey, so to speak. Our practices here, again, Alaska is a part of the United States of America.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, yeah, it spreads everywhere, man. Like oh wait, there's culture up there and we're part of this country. Let's go ahead and build another fast food restaurant.
Dude, we've spread it all over the world.
Yeah. So yeah, well, we're not just destroying the health in our country. Let's go ahead and really impact and teach our American way of life to other countries.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It is crazy. It is.
So,
crazy.
I mean, there's so many angles we can go with here, and I'm loving this because I can talk about this all day. Let's help the listeners understand, man. Pili Nuts, right?
Right,
like,
so
what took you to Philippines, man?
So it's kind of a long story, but I used to. Well, this comes back to CrossFit too. So I used to be really. I climbed mountains for a long time. I was a mountain guide.
You said you're a big mountain guy, yeah.
Yeah, mostly high altitude guiding, and
nice.
So
I've done a few 14ers, my friend.
Right on. Yeah. Whereabouts in Colorado or something?
Yeah. After I did the 2 years of hotshot life based out of Arizona, I got a taste of Flagstaff, and then we did a fire in Boulder, and I was like, dude, Colorado's amazing. So then I moved there in 2012, and I literally the first week I was there, my roommates were both mountaineers. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. So my rock climbing skills shot through the roof because I lived in Golden, and it was ridiculous. And the ski season was just coming to an end, so the resorts were closing. Yeah. And my buddy's like, you know these guys. My one buddy is a skier like I am. The other buddy is a hardcore backcountry split board skier where you can take your snowboard apart and A-frame it and hike it. Exactly. So he's like, hey man, we're gonna go drop in on a glacier up in Rocky Mountain National Park. You want to go? And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I've never been in the backcountry. That was a wake up call because I'd only been in Colorado for like a week or so after coming back from Pennsylvania, where I'm from. So my acclimation was, I did was I stopped in Texas and did a Leadville qualifier race, a mountain bike racing. So that was like a 60-mile mountain bike race, and there was no altitude. Yeah, I take care of myself. Yeah. So I was like, all right, dude, I'll go up there. I got my ass handed to me, man. Once we went above 10,000, like the local Boulder boys that all have like their GoPros on because they're trying to get sponsored, they just pull ahead on the hike, and I was like. And I'm competitive, and I'm like, what the hell? So I have legit respect for anybody who's ever done high altitude training. Hell, guiding people, man, like you were living in it. So
yeah, it was awesome. But so anyway, I got long story. I ended up in California with a little break. I had no outlet, so I got into CrossFit, and I got really into CrossFit. And I was so got into CrossFit, injured myself, separated my shoulder in a bicycle accident, and then went back into the gym, and tried to go right back to my old routine in CrossFit, and got a horrible case of rhabdo.
Yeah, you briefly brought that up, and for our listeners, this is, and because I'm passionate about CrossFit, guys. Rhabdo, official rhabdo. My girlfriend's a horse vet, so I know about this. It is very, very rare. Yeah. Rhabdo is from something like you got to be really freaking jacked up in so many other ways in your life to even trigger that level of rhabdomyolysis. And again, even my girlfriend says, she's like, you know how rare that is in a thoroughbred level of a horse? But again, we're talking about thoroughbreds. So I don't know if it was like, were you training at that elite of a level, or was there's a lot of other variables?
I could go, all right, so there's two, I think there's two people that get rhabdo, the ultra unfit and the ultra fit.
Okay.
One of the two. So I was really, really fit, and I hadn't used my upper body in 6 weeks.
Right, because you were doing high altitude training and hiking your ass off.
No, because I'd separated my shoulder.
Oh.
And I got back into the gym and just went right back into what I was normally doing.
Ooh, and, so life lesson there.
Destroyed myself.
Be patient, build up. That's like when we get new people in CrossFit too all the time. And it's like, guys, like, I don't care whether you're doing HIIT, high intensity interval training, whether you're doing like the basic 24-hour fitness, whether you're doing CrossFit, whether you're doing you're new to the military, dude.
You got to go easy.
Like the first 2 weeks of our fire season every year, we were doing 2-a-days with no days off. But obviously those 2-a-days would scale. And our base in Arizona was at 5,000 feet, and then our rim around us was 7,000. So they built us into the high altitude training. Like, they didn't just, they were supposed to be badass hotshots, but it's like we didn't just come right out and just start handing it to us. They had to make sure they didn't kill us.
I think you see rhabdo in the military as well.
Oh yeah,
new recruits stuff. They push guys that are really unfit and they get pushed a little too hard, you might see a case of rhabdo or two.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect to see that in anybody who went in with like barely any training and then tried to go become a SEAL.
But
like,
it's the other way. It's the other way around too. You get the sort of the SEAL type of mentality, and they go in and someone throws a new workout at them, and they just kill the workout, but they kill themselves.
Yeah, and let's be real, to be truthful, rhabdomyolysis is very dangerous. It's like you got hospitalized, man. I mean, I was
in the hospital for 6 days.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never been the same actually since that.
And that's what I've heard about too. It takes a long time to rebuild the body. I truly believe that even at the genetic level, from people that I've had on my show, they've said, dude, the genetics are reprogrammable. Tissue is healable. I mean, admittedly, I've had my shoulder rebuilt twice from ski crashes. So like I've been there, done that. As long as you don't have to cut the body open, usually you can start rebuilding things. So I believe that eventually you can, it depends on where you're at with your life right now. You're trying to grow a business. So it's a whole different level of commitment now.
Totally different. But anyway, so to go back to that story, I ended up getting really into kite surfing. Yeah. And so I started teaching kite surfing. I went to Brazil. I went to the Caribbean. And then I was traveling with my ex-girlfriend, and we were in Asia and kite surfing over there. And someone told me about this place in Asia it's called Kingfisher Resorts. This amazing place in the north of the Philippines that nobody goes to, no one's ever heard of. It's got huge waves and good wind. I ended up there.
First of all, it just sounds freaking amazing.
Oh, it's amazing, man.
As an adrenaline junkie, I'm like,
check it out. Yeah, it's amazing. And so I ended up there. I found this Pili nut. I tried it, and that's how the story begins. I brought 15 or 20 pounds, I think, back to the U.S. I made a bag.
And I read some of this from other appearances you've had, and I've heard this. But real quick, I want to pause you, because what was that initial reaction the very first time you tasted that nut? Like, did you just notice, like, wow, man, this is a whole different level of nutrients? Like, what was the trigger point for you?
No. So I was looking at a grocery store. It's the same stuff in the Philippines. There's all kinds of processed crap food. I was at the grocery store, and I saw this bag of Pili nuts, and there was only a couple ingredients. And I was like, wow.
And were they finished like yours? Like they're all shucked? No. They're all shucked, or were they raw?
They were finished, but they do them totally different. They fry them, and they sugarcoat them.
So they put sugar on everything, man.
They put and they fry everything too. But then we found some that were just spiced or something. I can't remember. Anyway, I put a whole new twist on it, and that's what it's making people really enjoy them.
Well, you can't go wrong with salt, especially a Himalayan salt. Like for the longest time, we've been really preaching sea salt, and I've even dug into that. And now I'm basically saying, like, listen, man, sea salt, but Himalayan, whole different level of healthy salts because of the nutrient density of the minerals. Yeah. Is it magnesium? Or no?
In the Himalayan salt?
Yes, Himalayan salt.
There's all kinds of trace minerals.
Trace minerals, yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of trace stuff. But the Pili nuts have the highest magnesium of any on the planet.
Which is why you and Vinnie were geeking out about it, because he came out with the purest magnesium supplement that I've ever seen. Right. Which is still, I use it. I actually, you and I were chatting earlier, like I'm an isogenic nutrition guy, but I use Pure Vitamin Club, man. I have his magnesium supplement. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's great. And if people are looking for it in a food source, Pili nuts is a great way to do it.
Oh, you can't go wrong, man. They're great nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw the statement out here right now. Dude, I love your nuts.
Everybody does. I hear that a lot.
Oh, man. You had to have guessed that when you started this business. You're like, everybody's going to start saying they love my nuts.
You know, it's funny. Everybody can say it, but if I say it, it's not funny at all. So I just let other people say it.
Oh, man. So clearly you're at the store. You notice they're doing it wrong. You know you love the nut. You know you could probably do something better. That right there, by the way, I love these stories because that's that little light bulb that's going off as an entrepreneur. It's like, wait a minute, I can do this better, healthier, and I have a market for this, right?
I didn't have a market, no. So I looked up, I researched who's selling these in the U.S. There was a company or two selling them, and all they were selling was the raw ones. Now, the raw ones are okay, but they're good, but they're just not the kind of thing you can snack on a regular basis.
It's going to limit your audience. Yeah. People, admittedly, we're spoiled. Like I'm trying to convince people to eat more raw nuts, right? Yeah. But everybody wants them roasted. So
Exactly. But ours are sprouted. So they're cooked at a really low temperature. So
okay. Real quick on that. I'm newer to the sprouted crap because again, I'm living grain. I'm NSNG like Vinnie teaches, no sugars, no grains.
Smart.
But everybody's all about sprouted this and sprouted that. Real clear. We're not talking about sprouted grains. We're talking about you sprouting the nut, But the process is the same, right? You're basically being more patient and cooking them at a lower temperature and letting them bloom, or what?
Yeah, essentially. So you're making it more bioactive for you. It's easier for your body to digest.
Well, yes, because so real quick, I think I'm going to connect on a scientific level, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because this is how my brain works, and I got to do this. All right, I learned about proteins and denaturing versus undenaturing. Have you heard this term?
I know the term, but I don't know much about it.
Long story short, so that's why I love isogenics, right? All their proteins are cooked in a high pressurized environment in a very, very low temperature. You said the word bioactive. They refer to the fact that basically you're keeping all the natural enzymes alive and still current, because most protein companies are just raping the milk and they strip. All they want is the whey, but you don't realize that that whey is what all these people are allergic to, all these side effects of whey and milk and everything else, because it's been overly processed, and the natural enzymes that occur that your body needs to help break it down aren't there. So they tell you want to source it as an undenatured process.
Yeah. Exactly.
So lower heat, more patience and time. And in their example, they're doing a high pressurized environment. So what I'm hearing from you is sprouting, different term, but I'm hearing more patience and cooking at a lower temperature to keep the natural stuff
alive.
Yeah. Boom.
Exactly. And that's what the whole process. And that's what, I just saw somebody was just talking about that yesterday, but the cheese and stuff we're eating, it's just dead. It's so cooked. It's so pasteurized. There's
and the funny thing is, so again, paleo world, no dairy, no cheese. Vinnie Tortorich world, listen, man, if you're sourcing, like he's all about, Vinnie, man, he's a crazy ultra cyclist. His girlfriend, ex-James Bond, model actress, is an ultra runner. I know, right? Like, we talk about that on one of his last episodes. He's like, I don't know how I got that. But the point there is, they're doing ultra level stuff, and he's saying, listen, man, I'll go out on a run or a bike. I take a little shot glass of the Villa Capelli olive oil that he and I promote, or I'll take some quality Italian meats, or he actually refers to hard cheeses. Like, again, goes back to this. How are we sourcing our food? And there's definitely different levels of, cheese is not all the same, is what you're saying.
Absolutely not. No way. Yeah.
Now, because you're a paleo keto business, are you hardcore paleo, or are you a cheese guy?
No, I like cheese, man. I love cheese.
I love cheese too. My girlfriend, dude.
I love it.
Wine and cheese, come on. We're going to a winery tomorrow night for a dinner, and there's going to be cheese there.
Exactly. Where's the winery?
Here in Pennsylvania.
All right. Cool.
We have a lot of wineries around here. I just don't like a lot of East Coast wine, but these guys are mixing in a grape source from the West Coast. So you said you're from Oregon. Holy crap, man. Your Pinot Noirs up there? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You guys are spoiled.
It's growing up here too. The whole winery business is getting huge.
Yeah. But back to the point.
Yeah.
Cheese is overly processed. Whey proteins are overly processed. And you can over roast a nut.
Absolutely. You can fry the hell out of it. You can add a bunch. And that's another thing that, people are used to getting nuts that are just MSG, they're fried, they're roasted to hell. And
why the hell the MSG, man? Like, we're all about no MSG in the Chinese world, but it's like Chinese restaurants. But I'm like, who the hell thought about putting MSG on a freaking nut?
Take a look at half the nuts in the grocery store have MSG on them.
No.
Absolutely, man. Take a look.
I thought MSG is a big no-no nowadays, because they were trying to, don't go to the Chinese restaurants because of MSG. I thought we were pushing that out. FDA still hasn't cracked that down yet either?
Absolutely not, man. Yeah, absolutely not. No.
So I just learned something new today.
No, it's all over nuts, man. Check it out. You'll see if you take a quick look.
Admittedly, I don't buy my nuts from there. I'd go to a local all-natural nutrition store.
There you go.
And they source all their nuts. They roast them themselves, but I actually buy raw nuts. I buy raw macadamia, raw almonds to spoil myself. I'll mix in a couple other nuts, but those are really the better source. And now, of course,
they're almost as good as Pili Nuts, aren't they?
No, not really, actually, because yours are kicking ass. Because
I know, man. They're so rich.
I don't mind yours because of your sprouting process, because you guys help now. Because I'm going to redo I have my own mastered nut mix, if you want to call it that way. But I have a certain assortment that I like. So now I want to basically, that's why I bought the bulk bag, because I'm going to break out my big bowl. I have a big bamboo bowl that I do my nut mixing in. I'm going to dump everything in there tonight and cycle yours in, because everything else is naked and yours have some seasoning. So yours is going to add a little more fun to my mix, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it because it's not an overly roasted crappy nut. I have the nice rich fat bioavailable raw nuts in there, and yours, because they're sprouted.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about bringing down the nut value.
Well, technically, they're probably better health-wise. They're easier to digest than the raw ones. They're better for you than that.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah. And
right.
I'm not a scientist, and I probably shouldn't make huge claims like that. But
that's why you guys have those scientist guys down in Florida playing with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Let them back that stuff up.
Exactly.
And admittedly, I would love to volunteer. I think that rats aren't human beings. I know they got to be careful. I'll be a human suspect.
We'll send you 10 pounds a month, man.
I'll go down there, dude. Pump me full of Pili nuts, and let's get some legitimate human studies back on this. So,
yeah.
Because rat studies only go so far.
Well, cool, but no, they it's an amazing product. We talked about it before. There really wasn't a market when I looked into it. Nobody knew what a Pili nut was. 99, and most people don't. 99% of the people that are listening to this show aren't even going to know what a Pili nut is.
My last couple of posts, one was on Facebook, a couple were on Instagram. I had a couple different people that here locally actually that follow me, and one of them was from the Philippines. Two other had been to the Philippines, and they're like, dude, I've had Pili nuts. I'm like, you haven't had these.
It's true. There's no Pili nuts like these. We actually do it totally different than everybody else. And there's all kinds of people trying to sell them, but they're just not like ours, which is great.
Well, again, there's a quality difference there, and
big quality difference.
A lot of people are afraid of competition. Not to go all business on this, but I tell people all the time, you look at the founding of this country, the founding of good old economics and business and everything else, like supply, demand, like you don't need to please everybody. You need to do is you got to niche your business. You got to determine your target audience. You guys have, right? Paleo and keto is a growing market.
Yep.
People are awakening themselves with healthy resources or educational resources like this podcast, but or a bigger show like Vinnie's show.
Yeah.
And the point is, we're just putting the knowledge out there, and then it's up to the consumer to educate themselves and or listen and maybe take the next steps. And that's why I wanted to bring you on this show as well, because, dude, like you just said, most people have no clue what the hell a Pili nut is. So
they don't.
Let's educate them.
Yeah, so that's basically what I started just going up and down the West Coast and sleeping in the back of my truck doing demos at stores.
There you go.
People would come in and go, "What the heck is this?" Or they would walk by and go, "Oh, pine nuts, cool." I go, no. It's a tree nut from the Philippines.
Real quick, no joke. So my client, I was at her office earlier before I got back for our call today, and I told you briefly, I'm like, oh yeah, I just gave out some samples, and she's like, these are really good, and she likes spicy things, so she's like, these are amazing, and she's like, I like how there's like a little sweetness to them too, but it's a natural sweetness, not a sugar. I'm like, good, you're getting it. Her palate is good.
Yeah.
And then her phone rings. She gets on the phone, like I guess it was somebody she knew, and like they were asking how she's doing. She's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "I'm just eating some of Scott's pine nuts." And I'm like, "It's not a pine nut; it's a Pili nut."
Exactly.
Say it right.
People see the P and then the nuts, and they're like, "Oh, cool, pine nuts." No, I've had them before. I'm like, no, and they keep walking away, and I get it in their hand. And once
don't get me wrong, I love to saute a little pine nuts in my olive oil. Really get that flavor infusion, depending on what I'm making. This is not the same. Yeah.
But another thing with pine nuts is that they're importing them from China, man. A lot of them are coming from China now. So.
Yeah, and again, no offense on China, but you guys, we saw the Olympics. We saw what your air looks like before and after the Olympics, guys. You're not a very clean country.
Exactly. So. They're spraying the shit out of everything.
And even let's be real, the Philippines. So after I found your nuts, I was doing some research.
Yep.
And like you said, there's some competition popping up.
Yeah.
Or
absolutely.
there already was.
There was some already, yeah.
And let's be real.
But we just did a better job.
I learned from you and some of my studies that now there's actually really some time and money being invested in factory farming versions of this. That's very unfortunate.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're still sourcing these naturally from literally you have to go out there and pick them and get them, right? Or how's that work?
So it's pretty cool. People kind of go out and people will go out into the trees and take them out of the trees, knock them out of the trees, and then literally fill a sack, bring it to a trader. Trader buys it from them for a little bit of money, and they take off the fruit and they sell it with the shell. Okay, so real quick, what is the fruit used for? You can feed it to pigs. It's edible. It's actually really good. So there's no waste happening here, is what I'm hearing. No, and the actual shell gets used as charcoal. They sell it. They get a few cents a kilo for it. Oh, so they dry it out. Shell. Yeah, the actual let's go back just a little bit. The shell is dry already. There's a fruit. There's a fruit
And then
on top of it. Then there's a shell. I probably have one around here somewhere.
Huh.
Hey, Cole.
Well, I saw pictures of them.
Yeah. And then,
yeah.
Then you open it up and you get the nut on the inside. But so the fruit is used for, you can eat it, but you have to eat it within like a day or two. It's crazy. You got to eat
it. Goes bad pretty quick.
It goes bad really quick. It almost looks like an avocado. It's really good. It's really earthy. It's got a great taste.
And actually, since we've added video, keep going. I'm just going to share my screen for the YouTube people so they can see some pictures on Google of what a pili nut looks like.
There you go. That's it right there. There's the shell. There, if you look right in the middle, you see the dark,
the black one.
Exactly. That's the pili.
It looks like an olive.
That's when it's ripe and ready to harvest. Right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like an olive. That's pretty cool.
It does.
There you go. Here's your guy.
Much bigger. Check it out. There's a nut. There's a hard shell nut.
Wow, so that's after they took off that black ripened fruit?
So, yeah, you take that black ripened fruit off. So
hold on. Let me stop sharing. Boom. All right, let's show that again.
It starts off green.
There you go.
And it turns that black color you see in there, and then you get this nut on the inside. Then they open this one by one with a machete, all done by hand.
Damn.
Yeah.
So there's no way to really machine. I'm sure somebody will eventually find a way to machine this process.
For sure they will. But there is a little machine that, one by one, but it's actually faster to do it by. The guys are so fast with the machete, it's incredible to watch.
Well, again, it's in their culture. They've been eating these things for years. So,
and there you go. There's a green one.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring this up. It's still low. There we go.
There you go.
So
that's a green
rough
one.
idea. What is that? Like 2 inches long, an inch wide, or bigger?
Small avocado.
Okay. Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because there's the nut that's on the inside of that.
Yeah, we'll go back to that because again, our YouTube listeners, they only see when you're talking.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Let's see that nut again you were showing.
That's about an average size one too.
Cool.
But yeah, so that shell comes off. Then this shell actually gets used as charcoal. They cook with it.
All right. So now that's what's left, or there's still a nut in that.
So once we open this up, we get one nut out of there. We get one nut, and then
you kind of shave them because like they're like little slivers inside the packaging.
So we soak them. There's a skin on it called a testa, and we soak them for overnight, 8 or 10 hours. That's part of the sprouting process, and we take this brown skin off, and then that's where you see that nice clean pili nut on the inside.
Okay, so it only takes about 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah, we soak them for overnight, 8 to 10, maybe up to 12 hours.
Here's what I was looking for. Let me share this screen. A little cutaway.
There you go. Yeah. So you can see that brown skin on there.
Yeah.
Yep. That fruit's actually really good.
You eat that raw, or do you saute it?
Raw it. They might boil it just for just a minute or so.
Is that just for tenderness, or like to bring down some of the acidity, or?
No, I think it's just for tenderness. It makes it a little more palatable, a little easier to eat, easier to chew.
I love this video system. I can interact with you and share stuff. Yeah,
it's very cool.
This will be a great YouTube video for you.
Right on. Yeah, we need to do some more YouTube stuff. We really want to do more stuff with that.
Yes, as a marketer. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me give you free advice.
No, believe me. Here, while we're.
Yeah, this is pretty powerful stuff, man. I mean,
it is. So while I got you here, check it out. There's an actual raw nut.
Wow.
So you chop this with a machete. You get that on the inside. Then you take this skin off, and you got the nut.
There it is. And this is before you've sprouted it.
Before I've sprouted it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that raw nut, you could technically eat it as is, but it's probably pretty bland, or do you actually taste that rich fatness?
They're pretty good. I won't. They're good. They're actually really good. They're just not as. It's not the kind of thing where me personally, I just couldn't sit and eat a whole bunch of them. I can eat a few, and they're great though. They really.
And real quick on that, because they are so good. The first time I had, you sent me a couple sample bags a few weeks back before I did my big order, and I was like, I just downed the whole bag, and then I finally flipped it over and read it, which I'm very big advocate about reading your labels, and I think that's actually okay, right? It's one bag is one serving. Is that?
It's weird. It's crazy. So we've got this. We have somebody that did it, a professional service that did the whole nutrition label for us on the back. It's
here while I'm talking, I will bring this up on camera. There we go.
One serving is I think it says 30 grams on there, and that's actually 52 grams. And we asked the lady, that did it for us over and over again. Like, why, if it's 2 servings?
Yeah, it says serving size 1/4 cup, 30 grams.
Yeah, but it's actually 52 grams. So it's actually
on the front of the bag, but that's including your moisture.
No.
Oh.
We add that in after. You're getting that's 52 grams of actual nuts. The moisture bag is added on afterwards.
So yeah, why did she do that?
That's it. Maybe the new FDA regulations are changing it this year.
Because this is FDA regulated. Once you put it on a label like this, you guys are held accountable to the FDA.
And that's she's the pro. We had it different. We had it 1.75 servings before, or whatever it was.
Huh.
And yeah, it's weird. And
well, and Emily, my first feedback when I first got your bags was, and I know this increases your cost of manufacturing, but obviously Ziploc bag, right? Put a Ziploc in the top of it. So if you're snacking a little bit, but admittedly, and even this serving size, some people might stop and go back. So like I was on my road trip yesterday coming back from Rochester to New York. So I had a 4.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
So I totally crushed obviously a bag of these, but then to kind of spread it out over the ride, because I just love them, I was like, all right, I'm going to eat it. And then I just tucked it down in the door pocket of my door, which is where I keep my other inventory of nuts as well. I've got this is like, for our listeners and watchers, this is your tip for road warrior nutrition, as I like to call it. But I found an old, actually one of the old nut companies off of the shelf in the grocery store. I don't know if it was Blue Diamond or who it was. They used to sell these, like, there was like a vertical green rounded
MSG
container.
MSG.
Right. MSG. But so I went to the store, I bought the container, I threw the nuts out because they tasted like ass.
Right.
Took the label off, but it fits a cup holder perfectly.
There you go.
And I've had that since I was firefighting in Arizona.
Nice.
So that's a 7-year-old container, and it's going great. And they actually stopped using that packaging, so I don't want to lose it. So because it's perfect, but that's what I put all my nuts in. So
right on.
Yeah.
Well, so the Ziploc thing, we just had this conversation. So I started initially with Ziplocs on the bags, and then people said to me, "You don't need a Ziploc because we're going to crush the whole bag. We just munch the whole thing." And then I said, you're right. And it's less plastic. Honestly, we're trying to do things. We're really trying to do things a little different. We want to do more green. So it's just more plastic. We did put a Ziploc on our cacao covered ones because we didn't think people would eat, that'd be the kind of thing. It's kind of a little more sweet.
That's right. If you're a hardcore keto paleo, I might want to trickle.
Exactly.
Like actually, I think Vinnie says it when he's competing. It is very rare they'll use a little sugar in their diet, but if they do, he calls it sugar trickling. It's very, very small amounts because you don't want to get a crazy, glycemic spike.
Yeah.
Not that yours would.
Yeah, they're actually, I forgot, it's just 2 grams of sugar per serving or something like that.
In the other ones,
yeah.
All right, I will,
something like that.
I will order some. I will try it.
I'm going to send you some. You don't have to order. When they come in, I'm going to send you some. Don't worry about that.
Thank you, man. They haven't been released yet then. That's just on the site for pre-order?
Yeah, it's not even pre-order yet. We had a few bags we sent out to people to let them try them out, and we sold a couple bags. And we have a shipment that's coming in hopefully Monday of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and Amelie, that might get my girlfriend to eat these more too, because I've had her experiment. She doesn't like anything spicy.
Yeah.
And she's not a nut fan. She does not eat any nuts.
Oh my
God. Totally affects my relationship. Anyway,
yeah.
I had to go there. I had to go there. But the point is, I was like, well, maybe a little, when she's having a glass of wine, I've always told her, I want her to offset that sugar load. Yeah. So having some some nice nutrient-rich fattiness, like a nut to snack on versus just like cheese or something could offset a little bit. So I might be able to get her to go on that. She's not a big sweet gut person though either. She doesn't eat a lot of chocolate, but it sounds like you're very casual with the cacao and that little bit of sugar.
We made it as little amount of sugar as we possibly could.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what is your sugar source?
This is coconut palm sugar.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So sugar. I'm not gonna.
Vinnie talks about it all the time. He's like, listen, your body does not know the difference between the sugar. Granted, it is nice to know it's coming from a clean, good source. It's not something manufactured crap. But in the end, hormonally, your leptin and ghrelin levels, your body doesn't know. It's like, dude, a sugar's a sugar, bro. Like
exactly. We're not trying to pull. It's coconut sugar, and that's what's available there for us in the Philippines.
Cool.
It's great, but it's sugar.
So you are doing all of this in the Philippines before it comes back here. They come back here bulk, already seasoned or whatever you flavored or whatever, and then you do your final packaging here?
No, I have it all packaged over there.
Wow. So you're actually helping the Filipino economy as well. You're employing people.
Yeah, we've created so many jobs over there.
I was going to say, man, because you're already employing them from a farming perspective. I didn't realize. I thought you were just doing what a lot of companies do logistically. They just ship everything back in a container.
No. And, there's a lot of reasons for that. But no, we're doing it all over there.
Cool.
So,
now, obviously, due to customs, you are still technically shipping them back in a shipping container because obviously, once they've already been packaged and done to your protocols. Yeah,
exactly. They're going to shipping container. And then a lot of times it costs us a lot of money, but we want the freshest product to people. So we try to move our product. We try to keep a fresh supply coming in. We'll actually pay to fly stuff over here if we have to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so I mean, are you at the level yet where you're literally filling a shipping container yet? And what I'm talking about for our listeners, if you've never seen a shipping container, it's basically a small truck. I mean, it's big. So
yeah, we're buying tons now at this point. Yeah.
And now naturally the culture, the trees, everything over there, the Pili trees, it's a sustainable product. Like
absolutely, they're not harvesting the tree or anything, so they're just taking the fruit off the tree.
And is this species of tree makes that many seeds? Because that's what it is. It's a seed.
It's essentially a seed. Yeah. So some of these trees they're going out in the forest. These trees are 100 years old. They're huge, man, and they'll get lots of Pili nuts off them.
Wow.
The stuff that's being farmed right now, it takes 7 years to once you plant a tree for it to actually start to produce. So the stuff that's being farmed is not producing anything like what these wild old trees are producing. And one of the cool things about the Pili nut is the magnesium, the phosphorus, the calcium, the zinc, manganese.
Yeah, you got thiamine, phosphorus, magnesium, copper, manganese. Wow, 20% magnesium, 89 milligrams.
Yeah,
wow.
That's crazy. And it's coming from that wild source nuts that are grown in that rich volcanic soil. And I think in the beginning when they start farming these, maybe they're going to be as healthy. But I think if you did a nutrient profile, 15 years from now, those farm trees are definitely not going to be
absolutely
the same as these wild ones.
You're going wild, man. You're going 100 plus year old trees or however they are. I mean, a manufactured farm, so to speak, that's going to go back and plant them. They're all younger trees. They haven't rooted deep into the soils. Plus, where are they planting them? All the Philippines can't be all volcanic soil these days. So
not most, but this area, the region where they grow definitely is. But and that's another thing. People say they're not organic, and I'm like, no, of course not. They're better than organic. And really, what about pesticides? How many people have you seen walking through the forest or the jungle spraying random trees with pesticides? It just doesn't happen. So if they're getting farmed, then they are getting fertilized and they are getting sprayed. Even though it may be organic spray, organic fertilizer, they are getting that.
Okay. But obviously, when you're in the wild, man. Like Mother Nature's doing her own whatever she wants to do.
I was telling Vinnie about this. It's kind of like walnuts in the South. They grow in people's backyards. They grow, in the forest. They grow, people just go out and collect them.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm loving this. This is you guys have so many positive attributes of your business. It's like ridiculous.
I went to a region where nobody really goes, and I don't even want to talk about it because all these competitions trying to copy me and find it.
Oh yeah, keep some of your stuff secret, man.
And so I just went to this special region to look for more suppliers. And I said, hey, can you find me a farm? No. They couldn't find me a farm in the region to show me a farm. They're all gathering wild. And I was like, this is perfect. So we're going to get them from you guys.
Yeah, this is awesome. And actually for our YouTube listeners, for our regular listeners, if you go back and find the YouTube video for this on my Live the Fuel channel, like this last part here, I'm sharing. Again, you guys can go right to eatpilinuts.com and just scroll down and see this, but this is like the Earth's perfect nut. And he bullet points all the positive attributes of why to utilize Eat Pili Nuts. So this is a great piece on your site. I love it when you put education right out there and you're not hiding anything.
And we're going to do a bunch more on that, actually. We really want it. We really want people to know about it. And we want people to know about the people that are involved with it.
Yeah, I would love to see. You said you were talking about growing your YouTube content.
Yeah.
Honestly, obviously language barriers aside, but incorporate some of that whole employee type role.
Absolutely.
That'd be powerful, man. Like a story of one of these families that lives there or their lives have been changed by your business, stuff like that. That's powerful, man. People want to see that.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat it and bullshit you. Some of the lives of the people in the Philippines are pretty rough.
I mean, I'm very familiar with them. One of the companies I used to work for in the late 90s is still around. They've changed names a couple of times, but they're a call center company.
Yeah.
And now they have a huge, two buildings over there of call center world, and they don't get paid squat.
Nothing.
So
and
that's
those
why
guys,
the
those guys
outsourcing industry is not good.
They do good. They do good compared to these people that are farming them. So we're trying to, raise the standard. So the people that are shucking them, that are harvesting them, we want to be able to create enough clout, so to speak, in the industry where we can go in and say, no, this is how they have to be treated. This is what they need. They need to be paid this amount of money.
Well, and I got to give you a shout out here because back when you first were sending me the samples, I was trying to tweet you because I tweet Vinnie shows all the time, and you weren't on Twitter yet. I see you
I'm on there
through.
now. I just saw it pop up.
There you go. So real quick call to action to our listeners, guys. Again, eatpilinuts.com. If you don't remember all this, go to the website and just click on the little logos on his site for the different social media. But he's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yep.
And right now, he's only got 11 followers because the Twitter following feed is very new.
Yeah.
So we got to blow that up.
Please.
So please do that. Please and thank you. I mean, Instagram, he's had that for a little while. He's already got 1,916 followers already. So you're definitely growing that quick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going. It's going.
We're gonna blow this up, man. Don't worry. This is what podcasting is.
Right. I got to tell you, I didn't even have a smartphone until last year, man. So
you got to give into the tech a little bit for business. I'm sorry. I'm sure that hurt for you. So
it did hurt. It did hurt.
Yeah. No, I'm loving this guy, man. So, and actually, I just realized I got about 20 minutes, and then I got to head out to go coach some CrossFit tonight. So actually, I have a 20-minute drive to go there. So this has been powerful. I want to, if you're game, if there's going to be another major metamorphosis this year in the business, let's keep in touch on that because I want to bring you back on and just see how maybe towards the end of the year or later this year or whatever, or you have another big launch because it's about keeping regular education cycling. Yeah. And a healthy company like this and a healthy business model you're doing, I'm loving it. So you're always going to be welcome back on, man.
And I wanted to throw this out there because we talked about it before we got on the podcast is, every box that comes out of Hunter Gatherer Natural Foods is a recycle box. Our YouTube listeners, there's tons of boxes behind them back there, dude. Those are all repurposed. Yeah, all repurposed. I just went and gathered a bunch. I got to bring them over to the warehouse and drop them off. But everything gets grabbed. We grab them from stores, friends of ours, and you can ask any of the stores that we sell to. They come in random boxes. We put a sticker on there of our name, and that's it.
I felt guilty because my order wasn't big enough to go into a box. You guys use the priority mail because you can't really maybe you did reuse this because you had packaging tape on it.
No, we didn't reuse that.
Okay. I don't think they allow it.
So we don't do any of the crap packaging, extra stuff. No shiny, no bubble wrap.
Dude, your bags are strong enough, man. Just chuck and go.
Exactly.
Chuck and go.
And they're filled with nitrogen, so unless they pop. Yeah.
All right. Well, so this has been a great episode, dude. I mean, we've been chatting for a little while actually now. Almost 50 minutes.
Right on.
So I do need to get to the CrossFit. I know I want to get you back to running and growing your business. We did chat. And I'm going to go ahead and just say, yes, the affiliation thing is going to be a go so I can get this out on the site. Yeah, because your show will launch in a couple of weeks. So I want to be able to blow you guys up where I can and also give back to our listeners. So when they hear this and you guys want to try it, is anybody using the code FUEL yet for you guys? FUEL?
That's yours.
All right, dude.
Yeah, all caps. All caps.
So there you go. To our listeners, just like we do with the Villa Capelli olive oil, if you go to his website and you use the code FUEL, FUEL, that'll be for our listeners. You guys will get 10% off to be able to try these amazing, super healthy fats, amazing source of magnesium nut from the Philippines. And you're actually giving back to another whole culture, dude, in another country. Like companies with purpose. I love it.
Right on. And we've got a trial pack on there. People don't want to spend a bunch of money just to see what they taste like. I think we send out 2 bags with free shipping for, with your discount, it'll come out to like $13 or something. Yeah, that's nothing, dude. Yeah. Especially with this level of health and concentration of health, it's amazing. So, yeah. Well, hey, so for your benefit, Jason, at the end of all of my shows, since you're newer to Live the Fuel, all the co-hosts had the opportunity to leave behind a powerful message, maybe their final words of the show. We've already promoted the hell out of your company, so we're rocking and roll that way. But also your messaging, it already sounds pretty powerful. Is there any kind of words or messaging that's behind everything you're doing that you want to share with our listeners that if they forget everything else they already heard on the show, they'll at least remember this about you when they leave today? I just hope that people just know where their food's coming from and understand the people that are gathering their food, because these people work hard to get the food, and we really want to give back to those folks. And just think about what you're buying and who it's for, and Yeah, I mean, and support small businesses, really. That's what I want to see.
Dude, that's great messaging. So there you go. To listeners, guys, know where your food's coming from. Know the people that are gathering that food for you. And basically, I'll go ahead and say partner with businesses here that are actually small businesses that are giving back to the world. I'm loving this. So hang tight, I'll give you a proper goodbye. Again, to our listeners, guys, this is what it's all about. We're here to fuel your health, your business, your lifestyle. That's eatpilinuts.com. Get out there, buy them, try them. Use our new code FUEL, FUEL, for 10% off. Keep living the fired up epic life. And we'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, we'll clear the podcast. So the video I just let go until we're done, and then we're done. So
right on. How'd it go? It's all right.
I enjoyed it, man. You got great energy. You got passion. That's all I ask. I don't want to bring on some kind of boring schmuck who doesn't give a crap about what they're doing in life, and you clearly give a crap about what you're doing in life.
Right on. No,
this is awesome.
We got to do it again once we get up and running better. We'll do another one, man.
Dude, you're more than welcome back on, because this is a platform that I'm building. I want to bring on people with quality content, quality messaging, and we're up-leveling everybody, whether it be a small business entrepreneur who ends up watching this video and being inspired by what you've done, to people who are just trying to find better knowledge on health and a healthier lifestyle. That's why I'm doing health, business, and lifestyle, because those are the 3 domains that most people don't have a clue how to balance.
Tell me about it. I got a problem with it myself right now.
Well, if I can ever help you out, man, that's what we're here for, dude. So thanks for coming on today. This is awesome. I can't wait to get this episode up for you.
All right, man. Sounds good. Have fun at the CrossFit, huh?
Oh, always, bro.
No rhabdo.
No rhabdo. All right, man. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, man.
Take it easy.
All right. Bye.